Welcome back, everyone, to the FloTrack podcast. This is the NCAA women's, Been a lot of track this weekend. Watch party. I'm Kevin. He's Gordon. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Those of you who tuned in on the men's portion of the program, thank you for coming back. If you're just tuning in for the first time, please subscribe to the FloTrack podcast YouTube page. Leave comments as we watch along together. Just like Cole Hawker, we're going to try to make our second effort just as good as our first. Gordon, how you doing?
Great segue. Start off week by saying this was the men's live play-by-play, but you quickly recovered with the women's race. It's like, having a bad opening mile, but then closing well in the final 1K of a 5K to kind of go for the win. But yeah, Cole Hawker, hopefully we have a Cole Hawker type performance. Get the win in the mile, and then a few hours later, have a great second podcast for the women's finals. So we'll see what we can do.
Jeez. So if you tuned into the first half, a discussion was how far is Gordon going to run during the break? Our challenge was 30 minutes. I have my distance. Gordon, would you like to reveal your distance, and we can see who won our NCAA indoor halftime running challenge?
So I don't really, my distance is very arbitrary. It's
off to a good start.
It was probably, if I'm being honest, it was probably 3 miles.
Okay. I was hammering, and it's kind of embarrassing to say I was hammering because I said, I cannot let you beat me. I cannot let you beat me. And you cannot let you beat me. 3.68 for me. And then I kept going. I did 5 in just over 40 minutes, right at that 8-minute mile pace, which is my forte. I did, because I wanted the satellites up in the air to see me if there was going to be a photo finish to me, comparing my chest to yours. While I was running, though, I was thinking a lot more about the men's finals, and in particular, the Hawker double, the mile 3K, just an hour apart. And I did an out and back run, and I was running along Town Lake, and I started off just asking people as I passed by, hey, what was more impressive, Hawker or Javon Harrison? After about the third person, they said, sir, please leave me alone. So I just was left with my own thoughts. And I remember what you asked, which was, hey, is Cole Hawker going to make the Olympic team? And if so, what event? I think we settled on the 15 would be his best shot. And on the way out there, I thought, because again, it was an out and back, I was like, of course he's right now a favorite to make the Olympic 1500 meter team. He's run 350, which you convert that to 333. How many guys in the United States have done that at all? How many guys can do that right now? And how many guys are going to be able to do that by the time the Olympic trials take place? And then how many people can do what he just did coming back later on and closing and kicking as well as he did? It feels like he has all the tools to make an Olympic team in the 1500 right now. And then I turned around on my run, and then I came back and I thought more about it. And I said, well, but then we were a bit, I don't want to say dismissive of Cooper Teare, but we're like, well, Cooper Teare's a long shot. But Cooper Teare beat him when they ran in that indoor. Cooper Teare has the mile record, not Cole Hawker. And up until today, Cooper Teare had the upper hand. So I finished the run, obviously feeling good about both of those guys, but I'm in a conflicted spot right now. But I think I'm prepared to say that Cole Hawker right now is a favorite to make the 1500 meter team in the Olympics.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I was re-looking at the results, and he low-key ran it's not like he won the mile in 3:59 and then like a 7:56 with the fast kick win in the 3K. Mm-hmm. He ran 3:53. So that's a true effort. It's not like he had a jogged, laps. And then 7:44 is also a legit effort. So the idea that even championship style racing, you can kind of conserve your energy. Both those performances in general, just great performances. And it shows that he's going to be able to run elite level times. And like we said, he was neck and neck with Centrowitz, the Olympic champion. In a 5K. He's running a 350 mile. He's showing off a great double, showing he has the endurance and strength. I don't see why not. I mean, anything can happen, right? 1500 is a wild race. We'll get more data points as the season goes along, but yeah. But enough of that. Enough of the men. It's now times for the women's night special
Let's do it.
hour extravaganza. Looking at last night's results, you have the women's 5K results on your screen, as well as the women's long jump. Tara Davis, speaking of making an Olympic team, that's 693. It's pretty good enough to make an Olympic team. But this meet is going to have a couple stories. Obviously, we have the individual stories of what will Thing Mo do? Will like some of the sprints. I think I'm excited for Abby Steiner and the 200 mile races are going to be good. 800 is going to be good. But I think team wise, you're going to have that battle between Texas A&M and Arkansas. But then also we have a side story going on. Could we see a distance only school, distance scoring only school in BYU women sneak onto the podium? They did have a heptathlete or pentathlete who didn't score. So technically they didn't just bring distance athletes to this meet, but the people who are going to score are distance athletes. They are projected to have 39 points, which is third, outscoring LSU and Texas, two teams that on paper are pretty good. So I'm excited to see, will BYU be able to head to Stillwater with a trophy to try to pull off two trophies in a weekend? Would be pretty impressive. But yeah, A&M right now projected with 62 points, Arkansas 53, BYU 39, LSU 38. You can see the full top 30 there on the bottom of your screen, and we'll update it in real time so you know who is currently in the running for a podium title.
And you mentioned A&M. Obviously, they got off to a great start with Tyra Giddens setting the collegiate record in the pentathlon. She got third in the long jump in that competition that was won by Tara Davis. And then she won the high jump as well. So she's got 26 points by herself. So if we look at the projections there, you're getting USC 8th and 22. You could put Tyra Gittens up there pretty high. I guess you'd have to, she's going to beat some teams here. Tyra Gittens, an amazing athlete for Texas A&M. Yeah, the BYU storyline is interesting because, again, we've talked about this before, not much overlap between their indoor squad and their cross-country squad. They already got that victory in the distance medley relay, but today they could get more. In the 800, they got two people in the mile. They have two entrants in the 3K, including Courtney Wayman, who looked really good anchoring them. Again, put comments on the in the chat if you're in there. Also can subscribe there, notifications, etc., etc. We'll read them as we go throughout today's competition, which is set to get going here in about 7 minutes time, Gordon, with the, what do we got here first? The mile, of course.
So yeah, in the mile, I mean, looks like Sage Herda is the favorite. She I think she's a fifth year now, right? She's fifth year. I think she is. So she didn't have any cross country eligibility.
Yeah.
So she's kind of just all in on this indoor season. She looked good in her prelim. She looked controlled. She's looked good in the regular season. I think it's going to be her race to lose.
And when you look at that team score and those projections, obviously Arkansas has to beat the form chart somewhere, and this could be in an event where they do it. They have several qualifiers in here, 3 to be exact, with Chrissy Gear, who won her heat, Gracie Hyde, and Kennedy Thompson. So this is an opportunity for Arkansas maybe to get things going in their direction and put some points on the board. How many points do you have Arkansas getting in your projections in this mile?
In this mile? I have them going 2 and 8. So I have them getting 9 points.
9 points. 9 points between 3 women there. And the BYU storyline obviously playing out in this race as well. Heather Hansen and Katie Hunter were 3rd and 4th in that first heat yesterday. So they are also potential scorers here for the Cougars. So plenty to watch for from a variety of different angles in the women's mile. Man, that the women's 60 is going to be interesting with Twanisha Terry, maybe Kiara Grant getting that collegiate record. Then, of course, you have a thing Mo going in the 400. Later on, got a wide open women's 800. And we saw a crazy men's 800 earlier today, too. We'll see if it can live up to that race. And then, of course, the 200 again with Terry's coming back in the 200. And then the 3,000, chance to see Courtney Weymouth. We'll close it out with the 4x400.
So let's look at the women's mile start list. Obviously, we talked about Sage Herter. She's the favorite. It's just kind of wild when you look at the PBs. You have Sage Herter and Chrissy Gear. Their PBs are in the 431 range. And then everyone else is like 436 to 439.
Yeah.
So like there's just like that huge gap between the top two and the rest of the other 8. And the question is, will those top 2 recognize that and be like, hey, clearly there's no one who's in our wheelhouse time-wise, PB-wise. Maybe we should just make it honest and we can guarantee a top 2 finish between the two of us. I mean, they're not going to talk it out, but like I'm sure the coaches, I'm sure Wetmore and Harder are looking at the field and be like, hey, if they take it out honest, if they go out and say, what, like 2:15, then you're going to – there's a lot of people who are not going to be in the mix in the final 400. So
I got some YouTube comments here.
Got YouTube comments?
YouTube comments.
Yeah.
We got great.
First race starts in like 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Here we go. Rapid fire. Who do you have winning the 3K? I'm going Courtney Weymouth.
Courtney Weymouth.
Tate asks, don't follow women's much. Would BYU in third be an upset? Yes. That would not be on. That would not have been on anybody's. Look, I mean, go back. Well, you can't go back because Gordon erases his old rankings. No, I don't know if Gordon actually does that. But, you know, the initial rankings did not have BYU up that high. We'll just say that. That's, you know, when you only can enter, when you're primarily getting your points from the distance events, it's quite difficult. Now, Oregon on the men's side especially has made, and on the women's side recently too, has been able to win title after title with a lot of distance points, but they've also usually had field events, some sprints sprinkled in as well too. So I just, no one saw it coming. I don't think that, you know, the DMR was kind of a toss up. And then I don't think people assumed Weymouth would establish herself as a star. Now she hasn't done it yet. She hasn't won that 3K yet. And when it comes to, you're relying on a couple people, right? It's like, are really 2 or 3 or 4 really good people, are they going to show up on the day? So we don't know yet, but that's the question that's hanging in the balance today. Brandon asked, a thing Mo over or under 50 seconds, 50 point.
If she runs 49, that would be incredible. I'm going to say over.
I'm guessing.
I think it's going to be 50.0 or 50.1. Yeah.
I think she's going to get the collegiate record, but I do not think she will break 50. Keep in mind, I've been wrong about everything today, big and small. Even such things as, man, that guy usually gets out to a good start. 2 seconds later, doesn't get out to a good start. Julio says a thing. He's predicting 49.7. Craig says Katie Rainsberger for the win. Schuyler asks, who does Gordon think will take the Robert Brandt commemorative 8th place finishes in the distance events?
Ooh, who's a good 8th place finisher? It's a good
poll. If you're familiar with Robert Brandt's 8th place finishes, you're paying enough attention to have a conversation with Gordon. That's the barrier of entry, folks. Let's see. Well, who got it in the 5K? Let's see who got it in the 5K. And maybe that person is doubling back, because that would be the true Robert Brandt experience. So women's 5,000, 8th place was Hannah Steelman. but I don't think she's running the 3K.
That is a good. Yeah. Who? Let me look at the field. Hold on, I'm bringing up the start lists now. Start list. So, Shadler, no. Izzo, no. Wayment, no. Jessica Drop. That's the perfect. Jessica Drop. That's your perfect 8th place finisher. Let's see how many. Actually, now that I say that, I'm going to look her up on P-First and see if she's ever finished 8th at a national meet. I feel like she has. She has to. She just has to. Okay.
While
she
you
was,
do that, I'll read the rest of these comments. Okay,
she was 40th at Cross, which is the last All-American. So she was 40th at Cross, so that counts.
It's equivalent to 8th.
Well, she was 7th in 2018 at the NCAA 5K outdoors. So yeah, I think Jessica Drop.
She's got some brand qualities. She's brandish. Yeah,
she got some brand qualities. Say. Yes, very brandish. Yeah.
Julio wants to know: do y'all know Will Grundy? Not only do we know Will Grundy, I don't want to humble brag here, but Will Grundy sent me a text last night. Now I hadn't heard from Will Grundy in a while. Out of the blue, he texted me, which was very exciting. Actually, it was kind of, I could have gone two ways because I'm like, oh no, did I do something wrong? But he texted me at 11:30 last night, way past my bedtime. Women's mile getting ready to go. Let's see. Ty said he doesn't follow this too much, but he's going to take Sage Herder because I met her at a running camp I used to go to. So there you go. So everybody should pick the people you used to go to a running camp with. So if anybody went to a running camp with a thing Mo, now's the time. Drop it in the chat.
Did you ever go to running camp as a kid?
I never did.
Or as an
adult?
You? No, running camp is intense. I wouldn't be able to handle to me, camp is not about working out. It was more about, I went to sports camp, but we just played like a different sport every day. I never went to we're going to do 2-a-days and call it fun, pay for it. I was like, I didn't want to pay for 2-a-days. So,
well, it's weird. It's like you sign up for basketball camp and you say, you're going to play basketball a whole bunch and do all these,
I've done
new drills. And
yeah,
right. Because you can play basketball all day for 5 days or 4 days and you're not going to fall to pieces. If you go to running camp and just run all day constantly, you're going to leave and have 6 stress fractures. So I never really got that. I know they do different stuff at running camp and, there's a mental side of it and you probably learn new ways to approach the sport. But there's a finite amount of running you can do at running camp, but maybe Ty will tell us what he did at his running camp.
They're out in 68 through the opening quarter. Chrissy Gear is in last place. The BYU pack is kind of in the middle. Herda, I'm not sure where Herda is. I think she's probably up front. She's in that front group. But Chrissy Gear's going to have to work her way up. Again, Gear and Herda are the two 4:31 milers. They should be the favorites to go 1-2. So they should put themselves in good position. 68, I mean, what is that? 4:32 pace, right? So, not bad.
Correct. I looked up the stat earlier. It's been almost 850 days since Arkansas women last lost a cross-country indoor or outdoor championship. Well, it was 843 days whenever the press conference was, because I wrote that down to talk to Lance Harder about it. My point being, a lot's gone well for Arkansas, and sometimes these things come down to chance and variance, and, people not having their best day at the right time. Maybe they were just due for some bad luck, because obviously we know they won 2019 indoor, 2019 outdoor, 2019 cross, and then 2020 was canceled. So it's been almost 850 days since they've lost. Now, as I say that, Arkansas is in good position right now, just continuing my streak of, I wish I was on delay and can go back and edit myself. This is, they're doing well. They're doing well. They're hanging in there.
Yeah. So we had them getting 9 points in this event. So if they do better than 9, that's going to help close in on their projected 9-point loss to A&M. So
yeah,
any points over 9 are good for Arkansas. And right now they have 2 in the top 4. So
yeah, and that's Konietzek of Oregon in there in the mix, but Herta looks pretty good.
and Gear now moving up. So Herta and Gear there. I mean, Arkansas there 2-3. That's really big for them. But
So
Herta
that's
looks
14.
like she's in a different class. So, but Gear's moving. I don't know. It seems like she has that separation. I don't know if Gear's going to catch.
Gear was on the anchor leg with Waymit yesterday, and then Waymit just pushed on the gas and didn't let up, and Gear was not able to hang tight. But she's game right now. She looks like she's not backing down. Herta takes the bell at about 3:59, 4 flat. It's going to need to be a pretty big comeback there. But Arkansas looks like at worst have second and third unless there's a meltdown here. So that would be big for them.
That's huge. That's a big point difference.
Yeah. And then their third woman, we'll keep an eye on where she is.
But yeah, Herta's going to win this.
And Hyde. Yeah. Long overdue. I feel like she's been due a national title. Yeah, she was probably going to get one last year. So 4:30. Arkansas 2-3 with Gear and Thompson. See if they get anybody else in. BYU got a score there as well too. Now this is the fun part because if you're watching live, you can look at Gordon's face and you could think he's paying attention, but right now he's furiously updating the projections. And then if you stare at them below, you can see them change. If you're into that sort of thing, good show of strength here for Sage Herta. Remember, she's run 2 flat in the 800. She did it when she was running out attached. That's why I say it's a long time coming. She's one of those people who eventually they would get an NCAA title. Opportunities just needed to present themselves for her, and she got one there. Did you update it? Did you get it? Oh, you did.
Oh, come on.
Ooh, it tightened. It tightened there. So Thompson, it's big for Arkansas there. Shout out to UMass Lowell. Richards gets 4th, and Kate Hunter gets 6th for BYU. So you have BYU. Ooh, wow. That podium.
A&M.
I'm looking at that podium race too. This is interesting.
Yeah, 35, BYU 35. Yeah. Ooh.
Well, no, you got 38, 35, 35, 34. So you have 4 teams separated by 4 points there. So there's basically 2 races developing here. The one for first and second, and then you have, looks like 4 teams in the mix for third and fourth. Good run for Herta.
Ooh, I think I messed something up. Women's.
Uh-oh. Gordon messed something up here. But while we look at Gordon's mess up, Ty is letting us know what he does at running camp, which is important because I wanted to know. He said they did 2 runs and they have 2 running talks a day. And besides that, it's basically free time, but there were also basketball and volleyball tournaments and dances and stuff like that. Okay.
So looks like our hold on, before we get to that, let's look at our feed needs to be refreshed because our data on the 5K isn't updated. So we'll see if our producer can refresh the feed to make sure that's updated.
Alon, the super producer, doing a great job on this Saturday here. Going to update this info, and then we will get that up to date. Excuse me. Still though, if you've never done doubles before, and then you go to running camp, and all of a sudden you're like, we're going to do 2-a-days, and then you're also going to play volleyball and basketball. It's going to be tough, but usually those things are in great locations, which is the appeal of it, is getting to run in a cool place. It says women's mile, but the times are still the women's 5K.
I don't know why that's not. I mean, something's happening where our data's in there, but I'm not sure. Elon, do you hear us? He might be away.
Elon might have been like, you know what? I'm saving myself for the 60. I already know Sage Herta is going to win this mile. Why am I even watching this? This is going to be a route here. He's probably taking a break. Connor says, big fan of the pod. Thanks for the frequent quality uploads. We'll appreciate you listening. Appreciate you subscribing too. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can hit that subscribe button down there as well as we get ready for the 60. Travis is sending me some stats courtesy of USTF CCCA. Sage Herta's win is Colorado's 2nd indoor mile title in program history after Emma Coburn. That's a good fun fact. Another one from the USTF CCA. The women's triple jump, Deborah Aqua equaled the meet record, 14.27, 46.10. Yeah, someone wants us to read the mile results. Since they're not up, do you just want to read the mile results, Gordon? Or I can do it while you're busy doing stuff. Here's the women's mile results. You ready?
Yeah.
Hold on. Herda, 430.58. Gear, 432.37. Kenny Thompson in third, 433.95. Kaylee Richards, UMass Lowell in fourth, 436.26. Ali Guagenti, 436.71 in fifth. Sixth place, Kate Hunter, 437.65. Seventh place, Aneta Koniachek, 438.46. Eighth, Katie Rainsberger, 439.67. Ninth, Gracie Hyde, 444.40. And 10th, Heather Hansen, 448.97. Herta closed in 31.2 over the last 200. There we go. If anybody wants us to read any other results from the meet, not just today, just put them in the comments. I'm happy to read any results. And there we go.
We're having technical difficulties.
Well, we're still here though, right? Some of the graphics are off, but we're still here, which is why people enjoy this. No, they come for the projections. Let's be honest. 60 coming up. So 20 Shateri, obviously the favorite here, but Kiara Grant, Norfolk State, was only 2/100ths behind her. The Oregon runner to the outside also ran really well in the prelim as well.
There we go.
That's Kemba Nelson of Oregon. So the record here is 7.07. Terry went 7.09 in the prelim. They're getting settled in their blocks. Don't be distracted by those mile results though. Focus, if you're watching at home and you're watching on the watching the meet, don't get too distracted. Tune over. We're not going to be mad. Just turn your head to your TV or wherever you're watching the actual feed to watch this 60, because this is what Gordon and I are watching. And it's underway. Terry's going to have a big comeback.
Oregon.
Oh, it's Oregon.
Wow.
7:05 collegiate record there for Kemba Nelson. We'll see if they correct the time. That was a massive run. She nailed that one. Oregon's good day continues. So they're going to get the men's 60 champ and the women's 60 champ. USTFCCA will have to look up when the last time that's happened. This is where if we knew a lot about sprints, we'd say something smart about the drive phase.
Whoa, 7:05 collegiate record. Kemba Nelson, 7:05.
Just said that. Damn. Is my mic not working? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm distracted. I've been distracted. I'm looking at craziness. I apologize. We had technical difficulties. I wanted to be good.
They're up though, right? We're all good now. We're all good. So
I think we're good.
Terry goes 7:14 for second, then Kiara Grant third, 7:16. Arkansas's Jada Baylark was seventh. I'm guessing you had her for more than seventh, but I could be wrong. What a run there. Kevin Nelson.
I mean, Arkansas, I think I had them. They're at 56 points now. So if you look at the team projections, we have Texas at 60, Arkansas 56.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, while we wait for the next race here, let's go back again to the YouTube comments. Make sure you subscribe, folks. Cross predictions. John wants to know cross predictions. I'm sticking with, I'm going back and forth between New Mexico and BYU for the women's team. I don't want to get too swayed by what we're seeing in Fayetteville, because it is a different group of women that are running. But right now, I think I'm going to go with BYU. I think Whitney Orton's going to win it individually. For the men, NAU. And, I mean, I got to go with my fantasy pick of Wesley Kiptoo there for the men. Although, don't sleep on a little guy from Newberry Park High School who's made his way up to the mountains of Flagstaff, Arizona. Just a freshman, young Nico Young. Do not sleep on him. That's my cross predictions. The results of the run earlier, we ran for 30 minutes in separate locations. I covered 3.68 miles in 30 minutes. Gordon says he didn't really know, but he used the honor system and said he did 10-minute miles. So advantage me. Brandon wants to know, can you read the 2016 Bowerman results?
I don't know if I can do that. That hurts. That hurts a little too much. That's
It's
not
become a meme here.
not good.
Okay, here's a question for you. You got this one. This one's all you. Evan wants to know, judging from today's and yesterday's results, how do you think the outdoor championship will look, both distance and team results?
We'll wait on the women because we don't know how this will all unfold. But we talked about it. On the men's side, Iowa State is going to look scary good when they have all their 800-meter runners with eligibility. Got Festus Legat, a couple other guys, Rashawn Rooms. Jason Gomez is pretty good. And then obviously you throw in Edwin Kurgat. Kiptoo then doubles, Kurgat doubles. Like, I mean, it will be hard for them to score in the 5 because there's going to be so many great bodies in that 5K with Grijalva and Cooper Tier and Mance. But I could see them easily going 1-2 in the 10K. That's 18 points. They're going to have a good 1,500-meter runner in Legat. That's another 6 points. They can get there. And then, they're going to score in the 5. They have the bodies to get there. So they're going to be kind of like, they might not win because I'm sure, Florida and A&M and all those Arkansas of this world are going to find a lot of extra points in the different events like the 400 hurdles and the 4x1 that distance schools aren't really going to get. But it is going to be, Iowa State's going to be the team to watch, I think, on the men's side. And they're going to be kind of like this BYU women's team right now. I mean, BYU women currently projected to get 4th with 35 points, tied with Texas. We'll see if that holds up, but it's looking good. And I have BYU. They have a chance to get more points because I have them getting 3rd in the 800 and going 1-3 in the 3K. So
they have
and you got more points.
You can't look past the team that just dominated the indoor competition either in Oregon, who's going to have the 800-meter favorite and the 1,500-meter favorite.
No, Devin Dixon's going to be 800-meter favorite.
I don't know.
Really?
Based on what Charlie Hunter's been doing, 353 miler and what he ran indoors in the 800, and he's got a national title, I think he's a favorite. He's not a big favorite because Dixon has the potential. Regardless, at minimum, it's 8 points there. And then you're going to have Tier in whatever event you want to put him. They're going to have somebody in the 10,000. They have Michael Williams in the 60. They have the national champion in the triple jump.
Yeah,
it's true. Pretty. You could chart a course right now for Oregon to get 60 points. Pretty simply, like on a non-ambitious scale. Probably 80, 90. Like it's not tough to rack up the points for Oregon when you have that many individual stars. So I think Oregon obviously is going to be a factor. But Iowa State will be interesting. Obviously, the results that have changed the most since, a couple hours ago, since Cole Hawker went God mode, is what's he going to do? And obviously, what Wesley Kiptoo the last couple of days, what he's been able to do has been mighty impressive as well. Women, I guess we got to wait. We just got to see who develops in these finals. Obviously, Kemba Nelson doing that for the Oregon women is just a huge bonus.
What was her PR before this race? Like before this season? She's a transfer. Where's she transferred from? Where did she transfer from?
Gordon is Googling.
Do you know where? Trying to figure this out. Anyone know where she transferred from? She's a junior.
It doesn't say on her Oregon biography.
Redshirt junior. She just comes straight. Oh, she's just like.
She's from Jamaica.
International. She's just from Jamaica.
Yeah, she's from.
So she didn't run JUCO or anything. Okay, that makes. So she's kind of overlooked because she didn't really have a lot of data points in the JUCO or NCAA system. But I mean, her PBs were 11:49 for the 100. So
wow.
She definitely improved once she got to Oregon. She definitely was.
Yeah.
She wasn't like blowing people away internationally before she got to Oregon. She definitely improved once she got there. So very impressive.
She was on the U20 4x1 for Jamaica in 2018, which I mean, if you can make the Jamaican U20 team, you're starting off at a pretty high level there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, 7:19 previous PR. Travis is all over the stats here in the chat. Brandon wants to know over under 14 flat for Kiptu's first 5K on Monday.
Hammer the under. I think he's going to go crazy. I think I can see him running 13:59. I could just see it. He doesn't think. He just goes. And I think he's just going to go. And I could see it 13:59. I mean, I think likely it's probably going to be something still crazy, like a 14:20. But I could see him doing 13:59. Why not? He's just going to go.
As I mentioned, there's a very famous section of the OSU course. You go into the woods. That's where it gets really difficult. As I mentioned when we talked about Wesley Kiptoo after the race, you don't want to go into the woods with Wesley Kiptoo because you don't know what's going to happen when you go in there. And especially if there's a 13:59 involved. You do not want to go into the woods with Wesley Kiptoo. 7:05. That's a fast time, man.
That's quick.
60. 400's underway. I'm looking at where it ranks all time. Tied for 119th. There you go. All right. Women's 400 underway. 2-heat final. We mentioned with the men, they mix up the seating here. So they give the top seeds preferred lanes in both. So this is another big event for the team battle. Or Gordon, that's your name? Yes, Gordon. I was going to say
yeah,
Oregon.
I mean, it's kind of like this race. We're all just looking forward to the next race with a thing, Mo, because they're, I think what's she going to run here? 51 something? 51.2.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I think Mo is gonna break this.
Gonna smash that.
But for the team race, Arkansas can shore up some points, perhaps. I think Mo. I mean, she's gonna be so far ahead. It'll be interesting to see if she drags anybody to fast times, and if so.
You know what it's time to bring up?
What's
Top 10 world all time. That's what I'm bringing up right now. Top 10 world all time. World record is 49.59. Second is 49.68, then 49.76, then 50.01, 50.02, 50.04, 15, 21, 21, and 23. No Americans in the top 10. So top 10 all time will be 50.23. She's going to run faster than 50.23.
And her PB is what?
I don't know. They move.
I'll look it up here. It is.
Oh, we should know these things. 50.52 is her PB. She's definitely gonna. That person who said maybe can she break 50? I could see it. I don't know, man.
Dropping a half second. A half second's a lot.
Things happen.
Do they have her? Let's look at the prelims here real quick. Do they have? Oh, they don't have the splits. Do they have the splits for the prelims? Oh no, they do. They do. Hold on. I want to see what she went out in. Heat 3. So she went out in 24.14 and then came back in 26.88.
She probably could have easily came back in 26 flat if she was pushing it.
Yeah, the number I'm looking at there is a 24.14. That's what I'm looking at.
Definitely quick enough.
Yeah. Think?
I think.
Brandon's calling 49.92.
All right, I'm calling
in the chat.
I'm calling 50.09.
50.09. I'm calling 50.23. So collegiate record, American record.
We're waiting for it.
I know. It's like we're there. It's like we're getting quiet for the gun, and we don't need to do that. I've just been trained to do that. So preferred lane out there. Let's see how long it takes her to eat up the stagger. About 100 meters. Although,
inside though, who's that?
From
is that USC?
Like, yeah.
She's not going to have it. Is she going to have it?
She's going to just.
Wow.
Nope, didn't get it. So 23.71.
She's going to be running like 409 meters.
Yeah, she's
not getting her yet.
Oh, this is interesting. Oh,
we might
there's a
get a
bump.
DQ.
Oh, my
Whoa,
goodness.
there.
Upset. Let's up.
Upset.
But hey, Thingmo's an 800-meter runner. Let's see if she gets. Oh, my goodness.
Nope. She's not going to do
Runs
it.
out of room.
Wow. She doesn't run the 400.
Biggest upset of the meet.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's
an indoor 400 too. That stuff happens. You're right. There was a
Remember
bump.
when I was saying she needs to be in a lane, she needs to be by herself? That like if that bump doesn't happen, all of her momentum will just be so much more smoother in the final half of that race. I mean, she tried to close there at the end, but once the gap was formed, it was no going back. That's great news for Arkansas, I'll tell you that.
It seems like you have one shot to make a move in an indoor 400, and when your momentum gets stopped like that, it's really hard to get it going. So
it's Kaylin Roberts, the senior.
Yeah, so
taking the win.
Yeah, so Kaylin Roberts does it again. Didn't she won in 2018? Am I not mistaken? Travis, get me these stats here. Make me sound smart, Travis.
Stats now.
I believe Birmingham, Travis was there. Lincoln was there. He was writing a story for like 7 hours. We could never leave the stupid venue. That was a great venue. Just kidding. Kaylin Roberts, 2018. I'm almost 100% certain this happened. Read full bio. And then they didn't have her for outdoors, I remember. Yeah, indoor, 5150, won the indoor title. Wow, what a comeback story. Because they didn't have her for outdoors that year. Yeah, there you go. Travis confirms it. I need Travis in my ear is what I need for me to sound even smarter.
Hey, look at the team battle.
Okay, so here's...
It's close now.
Okay, let me look at the team battle here.
57 A&M, 56 Arkansas, 39 LSU, 35 BYU.
All right. I don't want to toot your horn too much.
Okay,
but we literally made a video. That was titled "The One Way a Thingmo Loses the 400." And it was you talking about this exact situation of what if she doesn't get the pole? And that's why you said, hey, she should try to get in the slower heat. Now, turns out you're completely off base because there are no slow heats and fast heats. The heats are all mixed together. So she did the right thing by going fast, which is smart. But your larger point stands. The only way, like that was the way you beat her, was do not let her get the pole and make her run around you. And that's the end result. Good learning experience for Mo, though. And I think she's going to come back and run a massive split in this 4x4 at the end of the meet because it's probably going to motivate her even more. And Kaylin Roberts, man, just clutch. What else can you say?
I mean, USC, it's 400U. I mean, it's we always sometimes A&M calls themselves 400U, but in this situation, USC continue to we're always going to have a great quarter miler. And 50.84 is a legit time for Roberts. It puts her in position to potentially make that Olympic trials final where she could be selected for the relay pool because I think they're going to select 8 400-meter runners because of the mixed 4x4. So I'll put her in the top 8 in the U.S. right now.
Yes. Yeah, it was still a great run and a great season. Just all the time stuff goes out the window once you have that much contact in a 400-meter race. It's just hard to keep your momentum going. But let's give credit where it's due here to Kaylin Roberts. What a great run for her. Sets a PB. Talitha Diggs, 3rd. Cherokee Young from A&M, 4th. So you have Arkansas closing the gap. I guess they could have closed it a little more because they go 6-7, so they could have scored more points. But Moo not winning, and you had a chance there for Cherokee Young probably to get second. They could have gotten 18 points theoretically in this race, and they didn't get it. Travis in the chat put the Thingmo clip if you want to see where Gordon is kind of being right. Ty says she only ran that so people would stop calling her a 400-meter runner.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And Brandon says she'll run 155 outdoor 800. I can't be wrong, twice in a day. Ty also asked, would you expect to see anyone go with Kiptoo if he does go crazy for the first 5K? I think there's always a chance there's one taker in cross country, but it's not going to be a person who you would think factors into the individual race. I don't think it would be a Mance or a Grijalva
I think it'll
or
be
a
like
Nico
Alex
Young.
Masai.
Yeah, or like, it's not going to be like Eduardo Herrera. It's going to be someone who, blows up or has a great day. But it's risky. It's a risky move. Travis also says Kalen Roberts has only won 5 NCAA 400-meter races, and 2 of them were national championships. That is a good Travis. This is great stuff, man. This is great stuff. This is all the stuff that I should have had in my notes that I don't have, but it's just adding so much to this live experience here. Here's another one before this 60-meter hurdle race goes off. People just can't get enough of talking about the men's 1500 for the Olympic trials. John wants to know, who are your 3 milers for the men right now? We'll probably discuss this ad nauseum on Wednesday's pod.
Yeah, but it's weird to pick against Centro, but I think Centro's going to be fine. I'm going to go with, I think it'll be Centro in no particular order. I can't give order yet, but I'm going to give it to 3. I think it'll be Hawker, Nagus, and Centro.
I'm going to go Engels, Centro, Hawker right now.
Is there anything? I feel like, what if Nagus goes out there and beats Hawker in the 1500 outdoors? Will you then all be like, all right, Nagus, you get the spot now? I think we're underestimating how good Nagus is.
Yeah, we haven't seen it, right? And you give it to Centro because obvious reasons. Engels, last time it was U.S. championship, he won it. You got to go a ways back for Nagus, and an NCAA title is not going to carry as much weight as a U.S. title in this conversation. 60-meter hurdles. Ooh, a win from lane number 2.
Come on down. You're the next winner of The Price is Right.
A lot of upsets here. A lot of upsets in the women's sprints.
Is that Baylor?
Yeah, that's Baylor. So Kemba Nelson wins. Then we have Kalen Roberts wins the 400. And now in the women's 60, Chanel Brissett was the number 1 seed, or presumed to be the favorite. And instead we have Akira Nugent, the freshman from Baylor. John says Nagus, all caps, question mark. I don't know if that means he agrees with you or agrees with me. And then Tim says Engels, Hawker, Tier, Centro. For some reason, I don't think Tier will run the 1500. I could be way off, but it's just my feeling. The weather, we're getting Stillwater weather reports now. This is just turning into a cross country a preview here.
Well, we still have, great. Four events left, and it's getting close. Arkansas now in the lead, 61 over A&M, 57. It's looking good for Arkansas. Again, but problem with Arkansas is I have them doing pretty good in the 3K, and based on how they did in the 5K, I'm not sure if we're going to see that. So they need to build up a bigger cushion, I think, on A&M. BYU still staying in there in 4th position with 35. So
I think BYU's big event is this next event, the 800, because this could go a bunch of different ways. This could be 10 points. This could be 0 points or 1 point. We don't know, right? There's a lot of variation here.
Variation everywhere.
Yeah, well, no, but we don't. The 800 is so wide open because Mo's not in there. It's crazy. This 60 hurdles though, Akira Nugent, then Dezay Freeman, the sophomore. So we have freshman, then sophomore. Go 1-2. So that's big for Arkansas, 8 points, which is why you have them now projected to get 61 to A&M's 57. This is interesting. SC there sneaking into the podium conversation, projected at 29. So that's something to keep an eye on as well.
I've been texting the BYU coach during this this meet, and I'm telling her,
that,
hey, your team has a chance to be podium. You're currently projected 4th, and she doesn't believe it. She's like, it's not possible. I don't believe it. But maybe that's what you tell yourself. You don't want to set yourself up for disappointment, because she does still need to have her athletes do well in this 800 and the 3K. But we have them projected to get third in the 8 and 1-3 in the 3K. And that gets them to 35 points, which right now would be fourth.
Yeah. Wait, what in the 800?
Third.
Okay. Well, that could be ambitious. That could be ambitious. And third in the, I definitely think Waymont's a favorite in the 3K, but Hoy getting third, could see it. But that's a pretty tough field as well too. 50% of the time, it feels like, is spent by coaches at a championship meet trying to figure out what the heck the team score is and who has what and what's going on. And then the other 50% is getting their athletes ready to. Everybody's so confused because a lot of them aren't doing like projections like you have.
Yeah.
I mean, they have form charts. They have form charts and stuff. But the thing that's getting broadcast and telecast and on the big screen is the score at the moment. And we don't have the situation right now because we've had the field events wrap. But a lot of times they're going on at the same time, and the weight throw is going on over here, and the pole vault's still this person passed. It's way too much to keep track of, and it's quite overwhelming, especially if you're just trying to keep your team composed and ready to go.
Yeah, and it's 800. It's going to be interesting. The most wide open event, I think.
Yeah.
In the entire meet, the fact that Sage Herta decided to scratch, and the fact that Thing Moose decided to scratch, you have no one who's like, oh yeah, you're the winner. There's no like clear dominant 800-meter figure right now outside of those other two women. So could be anything. We'll see what happens. LSU there still in third. It's pretty obvious that Arkansas and A&M should be our 1-2 spot. And then now we just have that battle 4-3-4 between LSU, BYU, Florida, even USC, Georgia, and Texas. They're still in there.
And Arkansas has an entrant in the 800. BYU has an entrant in the 800, and Florida has an entrant in the 800. So 3 teams have a woman in the 800 that are in this podium conversation. I'm interested. Let's see anybody who wins this race is kind of an unpredictable winner. I was going to say we have this string of upsets going right now with the last few events, but anybody who wins this, I think, is going to be a surprise winner. I think the name that people probably know the most is Aaliyah Miller. She's a senior, been around for a while, run some quick times, but I don't think at the beginning of the season everyone was like, yep, these are going to be the 8 women in the final. Travis says Gordon is greater than live results, which is interesting. So you should just start texting more coaches and just see what they say.
More coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just all the top 10 coaches just send them screenshots of what's going on and see their instant reaction. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're having a lot of fun doing this. If you could take a moment, subscribe to the FloTrack podcast YouTube page. You can sign up for alerts. We put a lot of stuff on this page. Remember, we do the podcast 3 days a week. A lot of clips are on here. Please subscribe if you have a moment. Got a thumbs up here, which is exciting. Keep it coming. And get all the content sent to you on a daily basis on YouTube. And you also just subscribe to FloTrack's YouTube page too. We don't want to alienate, just have our own little podcast empire. You can subscribe to the FloTrack YouTube page as well too. And our email address is flotrackpodcast@gmail.com. But you guys are doing a great job.
Send us some memes.
Send us a ton of memes. Gordon's 2016 Bowerman anger is a good meme. While we have a moment, do we have a moment?
We have a moment. I think 2 minutes is when the next race is, or 1 minute.
So we're doing this Monday for Cross. Can you explain the lay of the land? What's it going to look like?
Yeah, so we're going to go live on YouTube on this channel at 11 a.m. Central. The first race is at 11:50. So from 11 to 11:50, we'll do a mega preview, give all of our gut thoughts on what we think is going to happen in the 2 races. Women's races at 11:50. Men's races at 12:30. But what we're going to do is, you see this screen you got. You notice how on the left side we have latest results, and underneath we have team scores. We're going to be doing the same thing, but this time on the left side, we're going to have the live splits every 1K and also the team scores at every 1K. So basically, you're on here. If you're watching the feed at home, you can always know who is in the lead team-wise, individual-wise, at every K split, the entire race. So it'll be very valuable. And it'll be me, Kevin, and we'll have 2 special guests, one for the women's race, one for the men's race. And you know what we'll do? See if anyone in the chat can guess who our guests are. And we'll just let them keep guessing until they get it. The only hint we'll say is they ran collegiately in the past 5 years. And they were pretty good in cross country. And they both have won national titles. Maybe not just in cross country, but they both are NCAA champions in either track or cross country. Can you guess the male and the female guess? Let it ride. Who are we bringing?
One man, one woman. If you can't get it after the 800, I'll give more clues.
Yeah.
The winner gets a shout out. I don't know. I don't have any anything to sell here. 800 underway, Gordon. It's once again Gordon versus the live results.
Looking at the team battle, obviously the BYU Florida, they're 4-5. They both have an entry in this race. So if BYU can beat Florida's athlete, Gabrielle Wilkinson, that'll be huge for BYU. If Florida beats BYU's athlete, that'll be huge for Florida. So that's the little subplot to watch in this race. There's Leah Miller.
Leah Miller out very quickly. She's doing a Wesley Kiptoo here. 27 point.
I feel like Leah Miller's been in the NCAA for like ever. Right? I remember when she was like a freshman lighting it up, and then she's still here, senior year.
Here we go.
Oh, she's out
Here we
quick.
go through 56.9.
56.9.
I don't know how this is going to
They're
end.
Run fast. Someone's going to hurt.
I think everybody's hurting at this point. It's hard to see. Got Arkansas in second, and it looks like BYU in fourth. Is Aaliyah Miller going to break the world record? Is that what's going to happen here?
I mean, they're slowly closing her in, but she's such a big lead. What is she, 127?
127, so.
She's closing 30. She's going to run 157.
This is it. Man.
Are they going to catch her? She's going to get caught?
I don't know.
Oh,
it looks like she's going to hold it.
She's going to hold it?
Looks like she's going to hold it. Yeah, I think everybody else is cooked too because they went out real hard. See, she went out fast, but they went out fast too. Oh, man. The finish line can't come soon enough.
She gets
Big run for her.
2 flat.
2-0. I think Arkansas got up for third and BYU is fifth. I didn't see Florida. Aaliyah Miller. Let's get some splits on that, Travis, if we could.
Wow. She went for it and she held on. Gotta respect it.
That was risky. Let's just say that. That was quite risky. Okay, here are the splits for Miller. 27.6, 29.2, 30.6, 33.21. Lori Barton of Clemson, save Clemson track, was second, 201.21. Shafiqua Maloney of Arkansas, third, 201.22. Then Butler from Vatech, Seymour from BYU, Wilkinson from Florida, McKenna Keegan from Villanova, 7th, and Sarah Hendrick from Kennesaw State in 8th. So 4 PBs in that race. So Aaliyah Miller, 2:00.69. Where is that all time? I know we're in the Mo era. So can we get the all time here on that one?
You want me to bring it up?
I don't have that. I don't have that list. Do you have that list in front of you?
I'll bring it up. Lists. Collegiate. Boom, boom, boom. No, I will not like to. Okay, so what's you on?
200.69.
Tied for second all time with Jasmine Frey.
Okay, so before a thing Mo, that would have been the collegiate record.
Yeah, well, tied with
the collegiate record.
Jasmine Frey. Yeah.
It's just interesting how that time has been completely recalibrated because now you're like, oh, you got to go under 2. You just got to go under 2. anything that starts with the 2 is not going to be the best time ever. All right, I'm jumping into the chat here, but before I do that, Gordon, team score update.
So Arkansas with now a 7-point cushion over A&M. Again, Arkansas, though, I don't think they're going to score as many as we think they are in the 3K. So they need to keep that cushion over A&M because A&M is going to win the 4x4. So 64-57 A&M. LSU still in third with 38. BYU, even though we thought she would get third, she got fifth. They still stay in fourth position with 33. Florida in fifth position with 31. Then USC 29, Georgia 28, Texas 27. So BYU, if they go 1-3, I mean, the best they can do is 35 right now. But we have them getting 33. And if they get to 35, if they go 1-2, you got to think that's going to be enough. I think it's going to be enough. 1-3, I mean, they can go 1. I mean, they can go 1-5 and then be tied with Florida. So
yeah,
there's definitely BYU is in contention to get that fourth spot.
Just looked it up, updated it. It's been 847 days since Arkansas women have lost a cross-country or track national championship. Can they make it to 848? Looks like they can do it, but they're going to need to close out this meet. Gordon, let's go to the comments. People are trying to guess the guest for Monday. Travis, our coworker who knows the answer, but still guessed Robert Brandt. Shout out to him. People are guessing Schweizer, Knight, Young, Jones, Alio, a lot of Danny Jones, Josh Kerr, Craig Engels. But we have a winner here from, we got one of them right. Game Master 123, McDonald. Morgan McDonald. That is one of the guests who will be joining us. Can you guess the other one? The female guest. I'll give you a hint. Silver medal. Silver medal is your hint, folks. Travis also put a past workout win.
That's a good hint. That's a good hint.
That's a good hint. Kurt asks Lincoln. No, Lincoln did not get the silver medal at the field day at Springfield High PS 140 back in 1996. So it is not Lincoln. Travis put the workout Wednesday with Aaliyah Miller. Just churning out links here in the comments. You can check that out. Just content. Oh, we got it. Stuku Pig. I don't know if that's how you say that name. That seems like a gamer tag, and I am not cool enough to understand that. Gets it right. Frericks! Courtney Frericks and Morgan McDonald will be joining us on Monday for the live show. Technology permitting. Just kidding. It's going to work. It's 100% going to work because Gordon got this thing working. We got Alon doing the dials, and we have Travis sending awesome stats and making sure this goes. So, yeah, Frericks and Morgan McDonald will be watching along with us. So you can jump in the chat and ask questions. You're asking questions to me and Gordon, which is great, and we like it. But I'm sure you'd rather ask questions to Courtney Frericks and Morgan McDonald, and that's what you can do on Monday. That's what you can do while you watch. Obviously, Courtney's team in the mix, New Mexico women. Morgan's team in the mix, according to Gordon.
Yes.
The Wisconsin men. No, I think you had them winning. I think.
No. I think I broke that news to Morgan. It's like, hey, your team actually could podium. And he was like, really? Oh, all right. He's like, I knew we were good. I didn't know we might podium, So,
yeah.
Man, it's going to be a close finish. We got the 200s. She needs to not let me down here. My Abby Steiner train, which I jumped on in early 2020 as the Olympic team member. If she can come out here and throw down a fast 200, I'll feel good about that.
Tim said he wants Lincoln. Maybe we can make that happen. We'd live to please here on the FloTrack podcast. Maybe we can get a cameo of Lincoln at the end. He can just give his takes. Speaking of credit for calling things early, I noticed this on Twitter after I got done with my run in between the men's section, the women's section. David Monty, Race Results Weekly, 2 hours ago tweets, shout out to Gordon Mack. You already got my attention with that, David. He was the first person I heard talking up Cooper Tier when he was still in high school. I would never predicted he would enjoy so much success so quickly. Now, this surprised me. Obviously, David has been around the sport for a long time. He's also been around you a long time, so he should know that you talk up a lot of people. But he remembered the one you got right, because I can remember some ones that you didn't get right, but that's okay.
That's all you got.
Props
That's all that matters.
Props to David Monty. Race Results Weekly. I miss seeing these people in the mix zone.
Yeah. I swear, seeing all the people there in this indoor meet, we could have been there. But if we were there, we wouldn't be doing this. And part of me feels like this is more fun.
Are you enjoying this?
Just sitting there in a mix zone getting an interview. I don't know. This is more fun. We're gonna do this during the Olympics, right? This will be definitely awesome during the Olympics. Then we get a bunch of guests.
Watch this. Yeah. Lincoln.
Oh, do you know what we should do?
For sure.
We should get the 4th place finisher at USA's to watch each Olympic race with us. So they'll be like, that could have been me.
Yeah, that's what it'll be called. That could have been me on the FloTrack podcast. It's ideas like this. I don't understand why you haven't had more success. So 2 sections here. Women's 200. We're getting ready to go here. Twanisha Terry is in this heat. Abby Steiner will be in the other heat. Let's see.
So this is big for LSU. They need to score well here. Let's see why I have LSU finishing in this. So if LSU getting 5th, well, that's going to help BYU that LSU didn't that last in that race.
Gordon furiously updating the projections there. Very good. Travis said he takes credit for Aaliyah Miller's win because she did a mile split broadcast back in 2016, commentating on.
Travis has been on the Travis Loki has been on the Aaliyah Miller hype train from the early days, and
that's that Texas mile split. Mile split connection. See, that runs deep. Kennedy Flannel back in 2018 ran a really good 200 and then got DQ'd in Birmingham. That was one of my memories from that meet because she was having an amazing year. Well, Alex Laura has entered the chat, folks. Alex Laura has entered the chat. He typed 8:47. What in the actual? Which is exciting. 847 days since Arkansas lost a women's title. There we go. I was wondering what he was referencing. Alex speaks in code for those of you who have never met Alex. But if you're in this stream, you know who Alex Laura is. So again, now's an opportunity to talk to Alex Laura.
So if Arkansas does make it to 847 days, I guess they're really only going to make it to 800. What's today?
So today is 847. So they could make it to. So Sunday would be 848. No, Sunday would be 848. So they would make it 849 unless they pull off the upset of the century, get that title.
Diligent is confused. She's like, she doesn't know. Diligent Taylor of BYU has no idea, like the sprinting, like realm of, because she sees that like we could potentially podium, and she doesn't know like, don't they have 4x4s though? Wait. She just doesn't know that her team has a chance to be in the podium. Because if you look at the scores, they would probably be in like 10th right now.
Right. All right. So Flannel. No, listen, that's part of this. 2264. I've interrupted you plenty. 2264, time to beat here. Let's see if Abby Steiner can do it, or will we have another upset in the sprints? And what will Alex Laura think? I'm whispering before the 200 just because it's conditioned to talk like this.
This is probably fun for the podcast listeners. Hello, this is the Women's 200, Heat 2, 2021.
Running Man wants to know, does the FloTrack van still exist somewhere? Yes, it's parked in the headquarter parking lot, of which that's where I'm at right now. And it's in the corner of a very, very big parking lot.
And it was in the corner of the old headquarters. They just moved the van to the new parking lot of every new building they move into.
They have to tow it though, or does it still run?
They probably have to tow it. All right, Steiner looking good, making up the stagger there down the home stretch.
Ty Ty says if Steiner loses, he'll never trust you again. Oh, it's close at the line, 22-36. So that is your national champion there, Abby Steiner. Let's look at the team score implications here.
Wait, that was the collegiate record. She broke the collegiate record.
What?
She tied the collegiate record. 22-38. She tied it. I predicted that. I said she would break the collegiate record, and she did.
I thought you said she ran 22-36. She broke it then,
No,
right?
they rounded it up. They rounded it up.
Okay. All right. So she equals the Gabby Thomas record from 2018. I remember talking about that one earlier because I think Ashley Henderson broke the collegiate record in the first heat, and then it didn't last long. So, Ty, you can trust Gordon for now because he did not lead you astray with this. So, Clark second, Flannel third, Terry fourth, Battle fifth. And there is the new collegiate record holder. World indoor number 5 all time. You kind of lost me a bit there, Travis, with the no, just kidding. Indoor 200s, they're an event that happens. Are these updated now?
Yeah, everything's updated.
Okay, so Arkansas is still in a good position, but
correct.
Can you say this one more time? People might just be tuning in. So those are the projections. What do you have Arkansas though getting in the 3,000?
It's a good question. What do I have them getting in 3,000? I have them going 2nd and 6th. So 8 plus 3. So I have them getting 11 points. Right? Yeah.
Okay, they have 4 women in there. Okay, 4 women in there to get 11 points. And then what do you have them getting in the 4x4 then?
2nd, 8 points. But I have A&M winning the 4x4 with 10 points.
This is not over. This is not over.
No,
then,
it's not.
Because
they need to do
11 is not guaranteed. Yeah, 11 is not guaranteed unless you're Cole Hawker, and then somehow you get 11 points, even though 10 points is the maximum you can get in an event. Maybe style points or something like that.
BYU's hold on 4th place is now down to a 1-point lead over USC. So I have BYU getting 16 points. So they definitely need to get. They need to win, and Olivia Hodge needs to be 2nd or 3rd for them to be in the conversation. And then they're going to watch that 4x4 on pins and needles, hoping USC doesn't come out of nowhere and finish really well.
Yeah. USC buoyed
because I have USC getting 4th in the 4x4.
Okay. They got the champion now. They got Kaylin Roberts. I wonder if we'll get a Kaylin Roberts Thing Mo rematch there. Are they in the same heat? We'll have to check that.
I think so, yes. I think USC.
What's great about this live stream is everything I would normally think inside of my head when I'm at a meet and look up, I'm just saying it out loud in hopes that someone will provide the answer for me. It's
there you go.
You could really get drunk on this power. Okay. Did you say that they were in the same heat or no?
Yeah, I think they're in the same heat.
Yeah,
they put the 4th fastest in the last heat. Yeah.
Ooh, and Arkansas in there as well too. Very exciting. Charles wants to know, what do you think about the Tier Hawker matchup in the 3K? It was incredible. I think, as I said at the time, it's like Hawker been on his cooldown still, and somehow he ran and closed that well. I think that seems like the perfect distance for him because he's shown he's obviously strong enough at the 5K and very strong in the mile as well too. I do think it's probably the pressure in that race was probably on Cooper Tier. Would you agree? More so than Cole Hawker. Hawker already.
I was saying this to
earlier
Johanna.
In the day. I mean, Cooper Tier already won the DML.
I was saying this to Johanna after the race, and I said there had been some bit of like relaxation that Tier probably had in that 3K. They knew they were going to win the team title. That's what they came there for. He had already won the DMR. He knew that like there wasn't a Grijalva or Mance or Kiptu in the race, and so that he would probably do well. And I just feel like there might have been a little bit of a lack of focus of like, I need to win, and more about a focus of, I just need to be like good and be top 3 with my teammate. And I think that might have allowed him to not be as dialed in the final 2 laps where he was, because I think the last person he was worried about trying to like, he wasn't like, I need to win this or we lose the championship. He's like, he knew they won the championship in the final lap when he's like, hey, it's just me and Cole. Oh, he beat me. Damn it. He beat me on this day. But I just feel like there might have been an inch of lack of mental focus due to the fact that the only person he knew he was going to be top 3 and his teammate was the one that beat him, you know?
But once it became clear that they were away, Hawker was just the better man today. And I think part of that, again, is, if you want to look at it from the mental side of things, is, he already had the title in. He obviously was having a great day. I wonder, I mean, if you're a physiologist person, you could weigh in on this, but it's like Tier running fresh for Saturday, but ran a hard DMR leg the day before. Hawker ran his hard effort an hour before. I know different people adapt differently to how much layoff they have. And obviously now with, I don't know, it seems like the proliferation of things like post-race workouts, like people just seem to be able to pile up hard efforts one after the other. And once they reset, they're able to go again. I wonder from a physiological standpoint if there's something there. We're not going to know for certain until they both race each other fresh, but he's the story, of those two.
Yeah.
Coming out of this meet. It's Cole Hawker. And just don't let the 3K get in the way of what you saw him do in the mile, which is not only win, but win with ease. And I know Sam Tanner and Cooper Tier weren't there, but still an NCAA championship mile field, and he won it comfortably. So Running Man asks, how do you think the 3K is affected from cross? So who would we see in here that we're not getting to see because their emphasis on cross?
Well, the Auburn athlete, Joyce Camelli, she scratched cross. She won the 5K, so she went all in. And Mercy Chilenga, who would have been in the 3K and 5K, she scratched to focus on
Mercy
cross. So Chilenga. So the only true people that really going to affect this is the Arkansas women. But I think they kind of just set the vibe like, you're all in on this. We're going to run cross on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to get 8th, but that's okay. And so they're not really kind of in the mix. I am interested, though, in the Washington athlete. I think Ali Shadler is one to watch because she's going to be an important key for Washington. We look at the Washington women as a team that can potentially podium, if not win. So I think Ali Shadler is probably the only person I think is the big moving the needle team-wise at the cross-country championships.
Well, and if you flip it, who's at cross but not here, I think the Stanford women. That's the big missing piece here. They did not run indoor
and New
at
Mexico.
all. So Ella Donahue and others were not here. And obviously last indoor season before things got shut down, Stanford was one of the teams that was on fire. Tim also mentioned Sophia Dudek as well. Obviously, based on her cross season, you'd have to add her in there. Does Yared regret not running indoor? Tim asks. I don't know. Because I don't think that would have gone very well against Cole Hawker. And now he gets a full reset. It wouldn't have. Nobody would have. Who would have beaten Cole Hawker in the mile? Ever.
Maybe Yared.
Not even just like.
No, dude. Yared Nugus. Are we forgetting how good he was and how good he is?
I think you're forgetting.
He's the
forgetting how good
win.
Cole Hawker was. And it happened 10 minutes ago. And you're already forgetting how good Cole Hawker is.
He won the 2019 outdoor 1500, and then he was the heavy favorite in indoors in 2020. And then pandemic happened. I think we are looking at Yared Nugus through the lens of he got 8th at the Nevada Cross Country Invitational, so therefore he's not as good. But in reality, he's not good at the 8K. But when he's in his wheelhouse training for a 1500 or training for a mile, he is not going to get smoked by Hawker. That's just not going to happen.
I'm just saying this season was Hawker's season. And if you were to dip into the mile, you're dipping into a guy who just has an incredibly hot hand. And I think it almost is his decision makes sense when you look at it holistically. We're going to focus on longer stuff, build up a solid base, and then transition to outdoors because we want to be sharp in June. And we're going to see which method pays off in outdoors, NCAA outdoors. We'll see like which strategy was the better one. Was it, going and doing the traditional schedule, or was it taking advantage of the fact that there are cross-country meets and you can wait and put your peak in later? I think we're going to see. But I don't think the list of people in the NCAA who would have beaten Cole Hawker today is very, very small. And I'm not just talking about this year. I'm talking about of the last 10 years. I'm talking about the last 10 years of people. The list of people who would beat him today is very small. Look at his closing splits. Look at his closing splits.
I think it's great, man. But like to say that he's the greatest of all time in the past 10 years, I think
I didn't say he's hold on. No. I didn't say he's the greatest of all time. I'm just saying the list of people over the last 10 years who would have beaten him today is extremely short. I think it just happened right in front of your face, so you're not processing it yet. How ridiculous that double was. And I'm just saying today. I don't say this is going to guarantee him fame and fortune and 12 more NCAA titles and 5 gold medals. I'm just saying today, what we saw today, the way he controlled both those races.
So this women's race is bunching up. They were kind of single file, but now they're like side by side. BYU still has their 2 women up there in the top 8. Wayment is there sitting on the shoulder of Camelli, who won the 5K. So the 2 NCAA champions from yesterday are 1-2 here in this race. I don't see Katie Izzo. Oh, there she is. There's Katie Izzo. Look up. You doing okay? BYU looking good. I mean, we're 6:18, 6:19 through this race. Man, it's gonna be close. Everyone is together. I mean, this late in a race, 6 minutes into a 9-minute race, and the entire field of 16 are all within 5 meters of each other, 10 meters of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Camelli took it out and then slowed it down, and no one wants to go. And I think, who do you think is going to make the move? I think it's going to be Wayman. I think Wayman's going to go.
It's going to be Wayman.
At a certain point.
It's going to be this is just going to be like the DMR. That's what this is going to be like. 4 laps remaining. Perfect time for me to now drop in what I would say is about an 8 to 12 minute monologue about shoes. Let me just say, no, we're not. Just kidding. Alex says Nagoose DMR focus in the past. Yes, he's 100% true. Like Nagoose's resume in a way should be better because I don't think people look at DMR titles the same way they look at indoor mile titles. And he got the one outdoors, which obviously was well deserved. So that's going to be a great battle between those two. I think you'd have to say they're the favorite. You put Tier right there with them if he decides to run the 1500.
This is bunching up.
In lane 2. Yeah, Hoy is way too far. Oh, someone fell.
Someone goes down.
Pile. Big old pile up.
Uh-oh. Hopefully no one gets DQ because of that.
Who was in that? And everybody's going to get up and finish because points.
Yeah.
Hoy just avoided it. I saw her put her arm out. You could tell they were bunched up because she was way out in lane 3. So
Arkansas. I have projected BYU needing to get 1-3 to maintain that top 4 position.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I do think Arkansas is going to end up with 11 though here because I think they have 3 left in here. They got 3 in the top 7 here.
Yeah.
So Arkansas is going to be in a fine position. BYU, I think the best they can hope for now is 12 out of this. Yeah, because Hoy's in 7th.
Yeah.
So she's going to
have to try to catch people who are dropping. Wayman looks good.
Wayman and Gregory.
Or was that Gregory?
That's Gregory. Yeah. Yeah, this is what we could have seen last night, but Gear was the anchor, not Gregory. Let's see.
I thought Gregory was going to move there.
Yeah, Wayman keeping her at bay.
This is going to be huge. Gregory's going to swing wide. Oh, I think she's going to get her. No. Wayman hold her off.
Got enough.
Wow.
Oh, look at Taylor in the bottom lose her mind there. She almost jumped onto the track. Another title for BYU. Wow. And did Hoy get up for 7th?
I don't know what place
I think this is so I think it was a big I think Arkansas outperformed the form chart though, for sure.
Okay, so it's updated. Boom. There was a flag, so someone might get DQ'd. We don't know, right? So
yeah, here's the fall. They're showing this on the inside here. That's Ellie Hines in there. Yeah, is that Ellie Hines in the red who went down?
yeah.
And then she took out, is that Shadler? Or was Shadler farther behind? I don't know if there's enough there to DQ. And if an Ingebrigtsen isn't involved, usually there's no DQs. Wayment closing 31-2, according to Travis. Alex Lohr's calling it a big old pileup, which is a good way to say it. Who's the GOAT of indoor distance doubles? I mean, it's Alex.
Cheserek.
I'm on a live show here with Gordon Mack. The answer to every question pretty much is Edward Cheserek, especially something about indoor distance doubles. Not even close. But did you know, Gordon, 2016 Bowerman? What a great meet for Courtney Wayment. What a great meet for Wayment. So up until last year's cross-country season was overshadowed by Erica Burke and Whitney Orton, but then had that really amazing race, finished in front of them in Terre Haute to lead BYU to second, anchors them to the DMR title last night. She was in that first recruiting class with Coach Taylor, where Coach Taylor promised them, hey, come to BYU, we'll get on the podium before you leave. And that is exactly what happened. Craig says it's under review. It is under review. So someone threw out the old red flag or did the challenge signal. Did they do the NBA thing where they do this? I love that. Anytime there's a foul, like a block charge, like 6 guys point and do this. So it's an amazing part of sports now.
I don't think BYU is going to get that 4th position now anymore. They're locked in at 29 points, but you see Georgia there is locked in, I think, at 31 points. Florida can get to 31. USC can get to 32. So they were in.
Georgia already has 31.
I think Georgia already have 31. Let me double check. Yeah. So because Georgia, Jessica dropped, they went from 28 to 31 in that 3K. So the best.
Who got 8th? Who got the Robert Brandt Award?
Who got the Robert Brandt? Maudie Skyring.
Oh, Florida State.
Maudie Skyring. Florida State.
Okay, so BYU comes up a little bit short trying to get on the podium, but I think they'll still take 2 national titles and some all-American finishes, and then they get to go to Stillwater, maybe get 2 more, individual and a team title with a whole new crew. Man, Arkansas just opening this thing up. Project 848 Days for Lance Harder, which is a made-up thing that he definitely has never heard of, is a success for the Razorbacks there. Woo Pig Suey. Okay. You have 45 seconds to do this. I'm limiting you to 45 seconds. I'm actually going to start a watch. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to regret doing this. But again, people in the comments, they're nice enough to tune in, and some of them are nice enough to subscribe, so we have to respond to the request. Tim says, can you explain the Bowerman? Like, how did Ed never win? Okay, 45 seconds. Gordon, go.
He didn't win because of bullshit narrative that really has no connection to the modern day era. They made up a stat saying no one has ever done this since Jesse Owens. So therefore, it must be rare. And it's not rare. It is just a circumstantial situation where Jarian Lawson got lucky. He had, I forget the 2 guys, but the LSU guy got hurt. And I think, Trayvon Bromell and the USC guy, you're making me rush. But the 2 guys who went pro early, so Jarian Lawson had the slowest 100 and 200 meter double of all time and got lucky in a long jump. He gets the triple. Everyone thinks it's great, and everyone wants to hate on Ches because they think, he wins everything. But in reality, what they really were doing is they were set. They thought they could give Ches the Bowerman his senior year, but they were like, we'll get to him senior year. But no, you got to give it to him now because you'll know what will happen senior year. And senior year, he got hurt. So
time's up.
It's all bullshit. Darian Lawson's triple was nothing compared to what Ches did in an indoor season. All put that on my gravestone when I go to bed. When I'm dead.
When you go to bed, don't.
When I go to bed.
I think you have an interesting interpretation of gravestones.
I forgot some people's.
Almost had a long
rushed. I didn't feel prepared.
No, it was good. It was good.
Jerry Lawson
think
did
the
not
last
deserve
point.
It was Chaz Break.
No, I mean Jerry Lawson was amazing that year. But I think that last point, what you touched on, is true. It's sort of you hear it sometimes with MVPs and with Oscars and stuff. It's like we'll get to them next time because they have this order in their mind of how they want to get to things, but nothing is guaranteed. And because he had that injury his last year, they were going to give it to him that last year. Even if he only won one, I think they were going to give it as a lifetime achievement award. But instead, timing and circumstance bit him. But if you ever see Gordon in the street, bring it up to him.
They gave the Bowerman to a guy who got 6th in the indoor 60. Mm-hmm. That's what Jerry Lawson got. He got 6th in the indoor 60. You know what Ches did? Right. He won 5 titles. That's what he did. He won 5.
What, 17 in all, right? Or something like that? Is that the number?
It's ridiculous.
17?
But hey, Jesse Owens award.
Moving on here. Travis put Cody Wayman's NCAA cross country or NCAA champs progression 153rd in cross country 2016, 71st, 2017 cross country 23rd, in 2018 cross country 5th, 2018 cross country, and then first DMR in this meet, and then first in the 3K. There you go. And someone is comparing you to Michael Rappaport in the chat, which is good with your rant. So well done. I think that's what we all strive for. Okay, so this is over for the team race. We just have a 4x4 for fun right now.
Well, yeah, it's over because Arkansas is at 62. The best Texas A&M could do is 57. So Arkansas has clinched.
Okay. Podium. We still got SC, Florida, Georgia's close. Georgia can't catch up.
Georgia can't catch up, but USC and Florida could come down to them. So, because if you look at the current scores,
USC.
So current scores: Arkansas is at 62, A&M at 47, LSU at 34, Georgia at 31, BYU at 29. So BYU's locked in at no better than 5th. But USC and Florida, they're sitting there in 6th place with 27 points, have a chance to move up to try to pass Georgia. And right now I project USC will pass Georgia when all is said and done. So,
well, if the most drama going into the 4x4 in terms of the team race is who's going to get 4th, we've seen more dramatic ends to the meets. I'll just say that.
That's true.
Women's 3K, Craig says, are official now. So did anybody get DQ'd because of that pileup? I would doubt it. But again, you never can be too sure. And it looks like nobody got DQ'd. There was one scratch there, but no DQ. Alex says Ed Ches punished forever because of Penn Relay's DMR. Yeah, right. And looking around a lot. And maybe the voters didn't like that. He would average 6.7 look-arounds per final lap because he was usually ahead by a lot.
I also think the voters of the Bowerman, when they started
we can't talk about this anymore. The time limit has exceeded.
Thing. I'm
gonna have a lawn mute you.
Last one. When they started it, the first 2 people who got it in the first year was Jenny Simpson and Galen Rupp. And I think it's named after Bowerman, track distance coach, whatever. I do think
he's gonna mute you.
I do think the voters want to make sure that they never bias distance events because that's how they started. And I think they always are going to be but who's a good weight thrower? Who's a good long horizontal? And I feel like they force themselves to only pick distance if there's no one else in any event. And I think that's what they did. Jerry Lawson had a made up narrative, and so therefore they didn't pick Ches. So.
Okay, so we're off that. That's good. I'm glad we're not talking about that anymore. 2 national championships for Wayman. Credit to her. Big performance. Was sharp at the right time. Obviously, she came in as the top seed in the 3K, lived up to it. And some clutch running too. When your coach they haven't won an individual title or a team title. And you think this is the year, or you think last year was the year, and then you come so close in cross country, and then in indoor it gets canceled. There's a lot of pressure, and she lived up to that. So Travis says 4 of the top 10 all-time indoor 4x4 teams in the final heat. So there you go. There's something to watch. I mean, I want to see a thing most split. That's what I want to see. And I want to see Texas A&M, and if she matches up with Kaylin Roberts, I'd like to see that. So that's what I'm watching for. But in terms of the team race, I think it's relatively drama-free. Subscribe,
how can you make it,
folks.
What would be a way to make the 4x4 more drama?
I thought you were going to talk about
I got an idea.
Bowerman. The Big Ten does the thing. The Big Ten does the thing where, for indoor 4x4s, the Big Ten does the thing where they put all the teams, in contention for the team race in the same heat, so they don't separate them. They reseed it essentially. I think they put the top seeds, the top 2 seeds maybe, or the top seed, plus they fill the rest of the lanes with the next best team, so they can kind of go head to head. Yeah, you could do it the whole sort of weird everybody's like, not everybody, but me, think it's be a fun thing and way more user friendly than decathlon if they start based on point order, so that way whoever crosses the finish line first is in front. That'd be kind of cool with the 4x4, but it would only work with a dual or a tri-meet. Wouldn't really make sense when some teams are not even in the team race and they're just out there running by themselves. So no, I like the way this is the best way you can do it in a national championship. You got to put the best teams together.
What I would do? It would be hard to logistically, but the 4x4 is not part of the team score. What the 4x4 does is you do a track meet to find the 8 top teams, and then they all get to enter the 4x4. So before the 4x4, you look at the team score, who are the top 8 teams score-wise, and then those are the 8 teams who are allowed to run in the 4x4, and then they all run. And so therefore, the entire meet is all about qualifying your 4x4 to just have a spot on the line in the 4x4, and then whoever wins the 4x4 wins the meet. So you're watching a giant qualification of who gets to be in the 4x4 final. And then winner of the 4x4 wins the team title.
You had me at giant qualification. There's nothing I like more than watching people get together and qualify for things.
But it'll be like, it's like the entire
idea.
Track meet is the regular season, and then the playoffs is the 4x4.
But what if you don't have a 4x4? You don't have a good 4x4 team.
Like get a good 4x4 team. Get a good 4x4 team. We should argue that you're not a real track team unless you have a 4x4. I'm willing to say that argument. You can't say that you're a track and field team if you just have 3 throwers, a high jumper, heptathlete, and some guy who's really good in the mile. Is that track and field? No, that's I'm good in 4 different events.
Well, why is it one event? Why does not having? But what about 4 good milers? Why isn't it a 4x-mile to end the meet? Why is it the 4x4?
Because it's the one where everyone meets in the middle. It's just right there.
Why is it
maybe 4x600? Would that be better? I don't know.
Yes,
I think
I think what we need is a 4x600. I think we do 4x600. There's no limit to where the sport can go. That's what I think. No, it's fine the way it is. It's just you get cool moments. I remember Phyllis Francis of Oregon, Ashley Spencer of Texas, like a dramatic 4x4. Obviously outdoors, we've seen the ones with USC where they lose. Raven Rogers beats them, and then the next year they come back and Kendall Ellis catches Purdue. They are awesome and they happen, but sometimes they don't, and that's just how it works out. And you got to live with both possible circumstances. But with this one, we still get, like Travis said, 4 of the top 10 teams all time, so it's probably going to be a fast mark. And you got to think Mo. Tim wants a 4x8 at the end of the meet, by the way. So there you go.
I want the 4x4 to be the playoffs of the track meet, where you qualify.
It's not basketball. It's not.
But it could
basketball. Be. Wait, I don't
we just
want
had the basketball world record holder win 2 titles.
No, that's Whitney Orton, not Courtney Wayman. You're getting
that's Whitney Orton. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, here's the stat. Hey, I knew USTFCCA would come up with the stat. Oregon is only the second program in meet history to complete the 60-meter sweep in the same year, win both men's and women's titles. LSU was the first in 2008 with Richard Thompson and Kelly Ann Baptiste. There we go. I knew they'd have it. So it's only happened once before.
We need a super cut from this broadcast of every time you say the phrase, there you go.
There you go.
Just like a bunch of there you go.
USTFCC.
There you go. There you go.
It's more like the more you know. I should probably say the more you know, which is what happens usually when the USTFCCA tweets. You get some good nuggets of information here. You want to talk again? Plug again the cross country live stream for Monday?
Yeah. Again, Monday, 11 a.m., live on the FloTrack Podcast YouTube channel, just like this. It'll be me, Kevin, two guests, Morgan McDonald and Courtney Frericks. We'll be watching the 2 cross-country championship races. We'll have live splits on the screen for every 1K so we can keep track of the team score throughout the entire race and have some fun, chat in the comments, ask some questions to Morgan and Courtney. The first race is at 11:50, but we'll go live at 11. A massive, big preview, have some fun. It's going to be a good time. 11 a.m.
So subscribe.
Monday, Central.
Subscribe to the FloTrack podcast.
Subscribe.
Yeah. And you get the alerts and all that stuff. It'll be exciting stuff there on Monday. It'll be, so the setup will be the same, like Gordon said, except we'll have the splits as we go. So we'll be able to give analysis throughout the race, who's where they're supposed to be, who needs to catch up, where is Wesley Kip to, did he break 14 in the first 5K? Basically all the things you want to know. 2 heats remaining here in the indoor championship of the 4x4.
They need invite
wrap.
They need only invite 8 relay teams and 8 DMR teams. We only need 12 teams. Come on.
That's interesting.
Like that first heat. Do we need 3 heats of a 4x4? Come on.
Or we need bigger indoor tracks. You can put more than 4 teams out there.
Yeah, and we should put the indoor track outdoors. Maybe extend it to a 400-meter track. That'll be good. Maybe call it outdoor track.
See, I've been saying this for a while now, and nobody seems to be listening to me. I wonder if Alex Lohr's still in the chat. Final opportunity here. You only got 2 heats left. I think he's gone. Alex, come back.
Busy analyzing he's been busy analyzing the uppers of different shoe technologies and like the insoles and outsoles and all that stuff.
Okay, now it's my time. Finally, can I talk about shoes now? Finally, so it's good. All right, let me cue.
When
this
we worked
up.
at Flow, right. we were asked to like do like a video for like talking about a shoe technology of like a gear geek of some sort and talking about different shoes. And Alex was so excited to have all like the knowledge of like different things about a shoe, this, that, and other thing. I'm like, I don't know. I just put on what the shoe salesman tells me to put on. And if it fits, I wear it. But he is really big into shoe technology. So I'm sure he's having a great time the past 2 years with all the Nike shoe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And I'm sure the rest of us have not been having a good time. Ty wants to know, does anybody not watch Morgan McDonald's YouTube channel? I think a lot of people watch Morgan McDonald's YouTube channel. Let's look at how many subscribers.
I discovered it a few weeks ago, and I found myself watching like 4 different videos in a row. It's very
good.
Just watching him. I watched a video of him just playing chess. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I spending 15 minutes of my life watching Morgan play chess? And I realized, hey, Morgan just has that. He has that way. It just draws you into the screen, and then you just watch.
All right. He's got 13.2 thousand subscribers. So we'll see what happens after he appears on the live watch party, how his numbers go.
Get that Morgan bump.
See if we are the catalyst that really maybe propels him to 15,000. We'll see. Yeah, he was in Austin when the winter storm came, right?
Yeah.
Which was
and that's how he twisted his ankle.
Austin, Texas.
Because of snow.
Oof. That's rough. That is bad luck. 100% bad luck.
Who would have thought a
midway
snowstorm in Texas would derail an Australian's Olympic dream?
That's a good lead to a story. That's a good beginning.
What are the odds?
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm just going to go through and read JoJo's tweets now and see if I understand any of them. Let's see. I think that's where we're at on this program. Just kidding.
She's behind this doorway watching. She's right over here, behind here, watching it on the big screen on the TV. I'm in the bedroom watching it on a small monitor.
Says, I know a thing Mo is about to go off in this 4x4. I agree. I agree with JoJo's tweet on that one. Let me see if the next one. I'm just going to see if I agree or disagree. A lot of retweets here. Oh man, a lot of retweets.
She's giving out that
Let's
love,
see.
retweet love.
2-section finals are so nerve-wracking. I'd say annoying, but I get her sentiment. 800-meter champion Aaliyah Miller says
roasting my girlfriend on this live stream, man. Come on, dude.
No, I'm just responding to the tweets. That's not roasting. I'm just, I'm agreeing with some spots and disagreeing in others. That's what Twitter's all about. Well, actually, a live stream. 800-meter champion Aaliyah Miller says her race plan was go out hard and catch me if you can. Fire emoji. 200.
Yeah, she watched Wesley Kip too. That's what she did.
Yeah. That's a good tweet. Good use of the fire emoji. That was awesome. Ooh, this is the last one I'll read. Wow, Kaylin Roberts was not intimidated at all. Anything can happen on race day. Popcorn emoji. I like the popcorn emoji. It's good. Good use of the emojis. One heat to go.
Final race. Here we go. This is what we want to see.
1 heat to go.
I think she splits 49 seconds here. 49.99. Let's do it. She's going to go all out.
Revenge tour.
That's what I want to see. I want to see that at least. I want to see a 49.99 split. Let's make it happen.
A&M should be ahead when she gets the stick.
Maybe not. Arkansas is a good team.
A&M just had the
Arkansas might rest people though, because then people might, sometimes when they know they're not in it, they're like, "Hey, we're fine." I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. But A&M collegiate record holders, I would think that they'd give her the baton in a good spot. I mean, dream scenario here is that she gets it near Kaylin Roberts. That'd be a lot of fun. That's what Travis said as well too. Fingers crossed for Kaylin Roberts and a Thing Mo on the same 4x4 leg. Yeah, and that they get it at the same time as well here. We're going to have SC in 3, Kentucky in 4, Texas A&M in 5, and Arkansas in 6. We haven't had much DQ drama either. I'll just float that one out there. Don't know if anybody's interested in DQ drama, but you could talk me into it. So Arkansas in the real score is up 15 points right now. So they have the win. You're right. They could rest everybody. The only motivating factor here. Well, and are we sure Thing Mo's going to run? I want her to, but they're secure in second as well too. She's raced a lot this season. It's unfortunate that that's how we think as track fans. Is like, is the person that we've all waited to see going to compete? But if you're thinking from a coaching perspective of, we want them ready for outdoor now, indoors is over. I bet she really wants to run because that open for, and I'm sure she's got something left because of how that race went. Travis says A&M's season best is 2 seconds better than Arkansas's. That's significant. They're showing triple jump highlights
second per
on
leg.
the stream. Where did A&M go wrong, or did Arkansas just exceed? I forgot what you had at the opening.
I mean, it's kind of hard for them to go wrong. They're going to get, if they win, they're going to have 57 points here. You could argue, okay, Thing Mo wins, that gets them to 59 points. When you're in 55 to 60 points, that's typically enough to win. So they didn't really go wrong. They had a great, Tyra Giddens ran well, threw, jumped, leaped well. I mean, Deborah Aquala, she was doing well. It's just Texas A&M had a great meet. It's just Arkansas was able to get all those points in the distance races. This is one situation where you could argue if Stanford was in this meet, if New Mexico, if all of the other BYU runners and all that stuff in general were all in this meet, maybe Arkansas doesn't win because they don't get as many distance points. So A&M. So A&M probably is the biggest loser here when it comes to the XC indoor being in the same weekend, because that's going to be one of the main reasons Arkansas is able to beat them by potentially 13 points.
I'm looking at the last projections you had on the site. It was Arkansas 59, Texas A&M 56. And A&M's on pace to get 57. They did what they were slated to do. Arkansas just overperformed. Yeah, you're right. You throw in the Stanford women there, displaces some people, maybe some NC State, maybe some New Mexico, maybe more Washington, you could see that those distance points being distributed a little more. It's different, though, than the men's side of things.
What about this? If Athingmu would have ran the 800 instead of the 400, let's assume she would have gotten 2 more points, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their 4th place finisher would have then finished 3rd, so they would have gotten 3 more points. You could argue that if a thing ran the 8 and won that, they could have gotten 3 more points. So I guess it's not enough to make it a bad call. But if a thing
would it
ran
have impacted
8,
Arkansas? Arkansas was in both, though. How would it have impacted Arkansas?
Oh, that's true. Arkansas would have. It would have, yeah. Arkansas probably would have moved up a bit as well, or stayed even. It wouldn't have been that much of a difference. All right, here we go. 4x4 is finally on. This is what we waited for. Arkansas versus A&M. And it looks like it's going to be USC. Of course, USC right there to the lead. Keep an overlooking USC. USC needs to run well here if they want a podium, because they're not in the podium position. But if they can finish top 4 overall, they will leapfrog Georgia to get to 32 points. But if USC has a bad day, run for. If USC has a bad day, Georgia could actually, if USC doesn't run well, the 4th place position is probably going to be Georgia and Florida tied. But if USC runs well, then USC is going to get 4th. That's how it works. That makes any sense? Yeah. Anyway, enough of me talking. Let's wait for a thing.
The way they're running, they look like they're going to get in the top 4. This is very close. They're off to a really good start. Arkansas, though, in the lead.
Abby Steiner coming in there.
They're all just on top of each other here.
2x2, yeah.
Kentucky in 4th. Man, are we going to get?
How much more real estate do you have to? How much more real estate do you have to travel when you run on in lane 2? Like, how much more distance is it actually? If you run an entire lap in lane 2, what's the difference?
On a 400-meter track, isn't it 7 meters longer per lap?
But what about a 200-meter track? Like 3 meters, I guess, on a 200-meter track? Because we're always talking about, they got to run in the outside lane. It's going to be harder. I wonder how much. This is
close. This is a good race.
Yeah, they're all together.
And it's late into the race.
USC athlete looks like she has no jersey on because her bib is covering up her logo. So it looks like she's just wearing an all-white jersey.
So Travis wants to know, what if Mo doubled, won the 8, and was 3rd, 4th, or 5th in the 400?
It would be kind of hard to double. I think Leah Miller would have made that hard.
Yeah, right.
All right. Here we go. So she's not going to have the lead. USC's going to have the lead. This might help her run faster.
This is going to be a crazy split.
She's going to be going all out.
This is going to be a crazy split. Does that end up being Roberts? We need a close-up shot here.
I want some splits. Give me some splits.
Give me some splits. Oh, Mo just flew by her. Got the pole this time. Let's see. Can she close it out? 150 to go. Yeah, Arkansas running well there, hanging in.
I just saw the split.
Man, this is all Mo.
Pop up on the screen. I'll wait for it to finish. But she's going to win it.
No,
guess what she splits?
A massive split.
49-54.
Yeah. I mean, she got it in the perfect position because she was able to chase, but then she was but not for too long, and was able to get around. And
the world record
time.
Is the world record is 49-59. She just split 49-54. Think about that.
It's a relay split, so I think
I know, but come on.
What's their? What I know, but come on. What was the time? Did they beat their collegiate record? 3:26:27.
They ran 3:26:68. So.
Okay.
Still very impressive.
That's the ending that you could hope for if you're a Thing Mo fan after what happened in the Open for there. Arkansas third, LSU fourth from the other heat, and then Kentucky fifth, Florida sixth. So what do we have here for our team score?
I'm updating it. Should be good now. Final.
Yeah, Chris is right. Moo coming back for vengeance. That was a vengeance.
So final score: Arkansas 68, A&M 57, LSU 39, USC 35. Georgia falls to fifth, gets 31. Florida 30, BYU 29. So BYU in seventh, almost there. They were. Turns out they needed 4 more points in order to podium.
Mm-hmm.
You could have. I mean, if she would have, and that's basically came down to if they would have got a couple more in the 3K and a couple more maybe in the mile or the 8. I think if their 800-meter runner and their 3K runner each finish 2 places better, they're getting to 35. So
yeah, in the mile they only got
overall.
Yeah. The mile they only got 6th. That was their only score, and then the 800 she was 5th. So there was definitely points available, but I think they would take the 7th place finish and then the 2 titles in their events. But 847 days, it's going to go to 848. Arkansas, last time they lost a women's NCAA championship. You know, it's interesting with Mo. People were joking on the live chat, oh, it's because she wants to be an 800-meter runner. But then she runs that 4x4 split. And you're like, no, run the open 4. Go back. That was a good one. Do that again.
Will our 4x4 at the Olympics have 3 women who aren't in the open 400?
It could. It definitely could. Yeah.
Right?
I think Muhammad
Muhammad.
Yeah, they seem to be mainstays because they were on it last year. Someone needs to do something special to bump them off at this point, even though they're not even open 400-meter runners. My feeling, though, is someone's going to emerge from that 400. At least a couple people are going to emerge. Here we go. One from Statman John. 49.54 split from a thing Mo. She anchored Texas A&M, meeting record. That's the fastest any woman has ever covered 400-meter indoors, either individually or in a relay. Oh, so fastest relay split, and then obviously
also fastest individually too.
Individually, yes, if you want to count.
People love counting their relay splits as PRs. Come on, man, I do it all the time. Yeah, I mean, our 4x4 could have an 800-meter runner and 2 400-meter hurdlers.
Yeah,
that's 3 of the 4 legs. Be pretty wild.
Why not, right? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
All right. We'll leave it there.
That's it. We did it.
MVPs? Do you want to do MVPs? For the women? We did it for the men. Tyra Gittens, right?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. She's pretty much an MVP.
Second MVP.
I mean, collegiate record, though, in the 60. Pretty impressive. Kendra Chambers.
Kemba Walker.
Or Walker. Excuse me. Chambers. Who's Chambers?
Kemba Nelson, sorry.
Kemba Walker. Wait, what are we doing? Basketball. Kemba Chambers, Kemba Walker, Kemba Nelson.
I've been in this room for too many hours. Excuse me. My apologies.
I mean, it would have been a thing, Mo, if she would have won the 400, but that loss kind of takes her out of the running. So
yeah,
I think Tyra Gittens dominating 3 events. It's pretty impressive.
Waymit also deserves some props. DMR. And the 3K, Abby Steiner with the collegiate record, Aaliyah Miller with the bold running that paid off, ties the number 2 time in history. Her Baylor teammate, Akira Nugent, pulls the upset in the 60-meter hurdles. And, of course, another upset in the 400 when Kaylin Roberts got the pole and did not relent and beat a thing Mo. Also, Sage Herta wins the mile. A little bit of everything. You had some times that were really fast, some times that, some races that were tactical. You had some favorites win, and you had obviously some huge upsets. Lance Harder now talking into the microphone, got another ring. He just has so many rings. It's just ridiculous. Lance Harder.
And he did this
racking them up.
He did this with his best distance runner, not going pro, Taylor Warner.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even have to be there. Mm-hmm. So very impressive.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to leave it there. If you haven't yet, please, before you leave, subscribe to the FloTrack Podcast YouTube page and join us on Monday morning. Well, depending on where you're living, could be Monday midday, Monday afternoon, for our cross-country live watch party featuring Morgan McDonald, Courtney Frericks, and Gordon Mack. It will once again be produced by Alon, who did a great job today. Travis will hopefully be providing awesome stats that will make us sound smart. So subscribe, and we will see you guys on Monday.